morning from Julia at Flowerland Garden Centre. We're at that stage in the season. It's coming towards the end of September and we're frantically choosing plants and planning for next year. We're obviously going to keep some of the very beautiful plants that you all love that we grow every season on the nursery, but we're actually planning some new and exciting varieties. It's Chelsea Flower Show, so we're going there tomorrow to have a look and get some more inspiration, but we're kind of getting the message that it's all about the wildlife, the bugs, sustainability, and doing our bit to plant trees and look after the planet. The really exciting thing for me about gardening is that it's a real art form, but unlike other art forms, it's four-dimensional. You walk through the garden and that's how you actually see everything and the three-dimensional element. But the fourth dimension really is so exciting because your garden never stays the same. Seeds grow into plants, they bloom and die. There is so much movement. We've been looking at the arts as well and seeing where we can get some inspiration from some of the floral art that you see in some of our art galleries. Now, the artist that really inspires us at the moment is a female artist. Her name is Rahel Rui. Rahel was painting flowers in the 16th century during the Dutch Golden Age. You probably have not heard of Rachel because she's one of those famous fine art painters that have been mostly forgotten. The reason why we love Rachel's paintings, there's such a lot of detail, there's such a lot going on within her work, and when you look closely, there's such a large amount of energy emanating from her work. The first thing we notice is it feels like there's a lot of movement, and within Rachel's work there are branches sort of weaving in and out. There's flowers where you see the front of them, you see the back of them, you see the flowers slightly damaged and decaying, and you see some of the spent blooms in her work as well. And there's also a beautiful contrast between the opulence of peonies and some beautiful double roses with lots of colour. And she even puts flower buds that kind of just sort of literally lean and arch out over her work. The buds almost look like hissing snakes, and the colours are just so rich and beautiful. So looking at the colours for next year, we thought we'd go for some of these beautiful opulent colours that you see in this arrangement here. And really we felt that you don't need to look any further than David Austin roses to achieve that beautiful opulence. We've got Olivia Austin here, Queen of Sweden. We've got some beautiful singles like Tottering Gently By, and we've got our favourite bloom here, which is Lady of Shalott. What we really love about Lady of Shalott in particular, it just never stops blooming. And right at the moment, there's just large trusses of that flower just still in our garden in the autumn time. And obviously added to that, the beautiful dimension of the fragrance that you get from these roses. So we'll be including lots of those beautiful David Austin roses, and increasing the range that we have on offer next year. We simply love Litchfield Angel as well. It's a light creamy white, and white is a really good colour to actually link everything together in your border. Rachel uses quite a lot of white and blue in particular in her floristry paintings, and even though there's a lot of decay and there's a lot of kind of damaged and spent blooms and wildflowers within Rachel's paintings. She uses white to depict the resurrection, because within the Dutch artist movement, colour had a lot of significance in paintings. In addition to choosing these lovely opulent blooms like this gorgeous Astromere and these beautiful roses, we're not forgetting as well to include flowering plants that have really great foliage. When you look at Rahel's work, she intricately weaves leaves like this crocosmia, and they're all twisting and turning. And what's so incredible about the artist is the way that she's able to capture the light on every single twist and turn on the leaf. And she really understands how the plants change when you cut them, and she captures where you have a slight deterioration and a little bend and a curve and a fold on the leaves. And she captures so beautifully the light in the center of the flower where it fades, and then where it comes across, and the shadow from a neighboring flower catches the light from the flower itself. When you look closely at Rahel's paintings, she depicts quite a few flowers that are damaged and kind of leaning out of the arrangement and on the floor, sort of dying and just past their best. And that just brings such a beautiful life to her paintings. The wildflowers and the grasses and the other plants she mixes into her work are so relevant for today, because we as well as having beautiful flowers like these in our garden, we need to actually have quite a few wild plants and let a little bit of wildness into our gardens as well. And I can really vouch for how tough and indestructible these roses are. So they won't mind if you let a little bit of wildness and let some foxgloves or any other plants that might want to, arrive in your garden, leave them, because it just all adds to the tapestry and the richness. And what is so important about that is it really encourages a lot of beneficial insects into your garden. Now here's what we really love about Rachel's artwork. It's almost Disney-like how she includes bugs in her floral arrangements. You don't really see them at first. They're kind of hidden. She doesn't show you a whole insect. You might see a bug, you might see his head is buried and you only see the back of the bug. And there's such cute little bugs and insects and even ants all throughout and woven through her work. She even depicts and adds in some foliage that has been slightly damaged and eaten by the bugs as well. I went out in my garden this morning picking these flowers, and when I took them to work, what was really exciting for me, in my car there was bugs flying around that I'd never seen before. Obviously I don't see those bugs in my garden, but when I picked all of these, all of a sudden there was bugs everywhere in my garden, and that's such a joy to know that there's that level of life within your garden that you don't even see. It takes a lot to just spot a bug here, but honestly it's so beautiful to have hoverflies and ladybirds and even aphids bounding around in your garden. That's really what gives your garden life. Of course, Rachel would have always included lots of lovely rich double purple peonies. So we've gone through and we've chosen some beautiful ones for next year. We really loved Coral Sunset, that lovely rich colour there. I don't want to give too much away about the exciting plants that we're going to be growing on our nursery next year, but I'll mention just a few favourites. One of the ones that we were choosing that we really love is Agastache, because it gives you that really wild look in your garden and it encourages a lot of bugs. And the one we really love is this new one here called Ambrosia. What's amazing about this one is the richness of the pink and the orange. We also love Astromeria, And there's so much to choose from when you look at this catalogue here. But the one that we've really plumbed for is a variety called Indian Summer, which is this beautiful one here. And we love the dark purple foliage and the purple of the stem against the lovely richness of these orange and yellow blooms with these beautiful delicate buds in a sort of shade of burgundy and red. You wouldn't really normally combine those colours, but it just shows you that if you look at the flower world, anything goes. Don't shy away from more exciting colours. It's really important, Christopher Lloyd said, to don't ever miss out on the racier side of gardening and be adventurous with colour.